I had cervical cancer and had a hysterectomy, turning grief into strength. I led my team to overcome various difficulties in just 3 years and developed a specific drug for cervical cancer. I was so excited that I wanted to tell my husband the good news. By chance, I overheard his conversation with the doctor who performed my hysterectomy. My husband said in a deep voice, "What are you doing here? Didn't I give you a lot of money to go abroad?" The doctor sneered, "Boss Jiang. You want to get rid of me with just a few $1 million. Don't you think too highly of me? Your pharmaceutical company is doing a booming business right now. Give me 50 million and I promise I will never appear in front of you again." The husband said angrily, "50 million? Are you crazy, Chen Kang? Do you think you are worth that much money?" Dr. Chen grinned and said, "Boss Jiang, if Sun Yanyan knew that she didn't have cervical cancer that year and that you lied to her and deliberately asked me to remove her uterus, what do you think she would do to you? If Sun Yanyan knew that you not only had a lover outside, but also a son, how do you think she would react? I'll take your secret. Give me 50 million, not a penny less, or I will tell Sun Yanyan about this." Outside the office, I felt like I was struck by lightning. I couldn't believe what I heard. My mind went blank. In the office, Jiang Yanchen and Chen Kang were arguing angrily, while I was shaking outside and almost fainting. My joy at developing a specific drug for cervical cancer has disappeared. Instead, there was shock, anger, and deep sadness. I really wanted to push open the office door and question Jiang Yanchen, but in the end, I left in tears. When I got home, I angrily smashed the wedding photos at home, took out the test results from my hospitalization, and burst into tears. That night, Jiang Yanchen returned home. After seeing the mess at home, he was stunned for a moment, especially when he saw my red and swollen eyes sitting on the sofa in the living room. He walked over quickly with a look of heartache on his face and held me in his arms to comfort me. "Wife, why are you so angry today? Have you encountered any new difficulties in drug research? Don't be anxious. Take your time. We have plenty of time. Getting anxious and angry will only make you sick." If it were in the past, Jiang Yanchen's gentle comfort would calm my heart and make me feel that with him by my side, I would not be afraid of anything. However, looking at his gentle face at this moment, I only felt disgusted and annoyed. The anger in my heart was almost about to erupt. I resisted the urge to break free from his embrace and said in a cold voice, "The research on the drug has reached a bottleneck. I was a little upset today and broke things at home. I feel much better now." Just as Jiang Yanchen was about to speak to comfort her, his cell phone rang. After seeing the caller ID, his face changed slightly, and then he pretended to be helpless and said to me, "It's a big customer of our company calling. I don't know what important matter it is so late." Having said that, he got up and went to the study to answer the phone. I tiptoed to the door of the study and heard Jiang Yanchen talking on the phone in a somewhat irritable tone. "Why are you calling me at this time? You took your son to the hospital when he had a fever. Do I need to teach you that? What? That damn bastard Chen Kang went to look for you and your son. Okay, I got it. I'll be right there." I quickly returned to the living room, and after a while, Jiang Yanchen came out of the study. He said to me with an apologetic look on his face, "Wife, there is an urgent matter with the client. I have to go there, and I won't be back tonight. Don't be angry about the drug research. Go to bed early." After saying that, he kissed me on the forehead and left in a hurry. After he left, I went into his study. After searching in the drawer for a while, I finally found a photo in the secret compartment of the drawer. In the photo, he was hugging a woman who was holding a little boy in her arms. They look more like a family of 3, with warm and sweet smiles. I also know this woman. She is Jiang Yanchen's former secretary, Qin Qingwei. 3 years ago, not long after I had a hysterectomy, Jiang Yanchen fired her. Unexpectedly, Jiang Yanchen kept her as his mistress without telling me and even had a son with her. Looking at this photo, I was shaking with anger. I murmured, "Jiang Yanchen, you liar. You said you had a vasectomy just for me. You said you would never let me down in this life." The so-called vows of love turned out to be nothing more than a scam. Jiang Yanchen and I met and got to know each other back then, and after 5 years of dating, we got married. Thanks to my joining, his pharmaceutical company launched many special medicines in just a few years, and its market value increased several times. I hold a considerable amount of shares in Jiang Family Pharmaceutical Company. However, I did not ask about the operations of Jiangjia Pharmaceutical Company. I believe in Jiang Yanchen's ability to manage the company, just as he believes in my ability in drug research. Many people say that the combination of Jiang Yanchen and I is like adding wings to a tiger. Many representatives of venture capital companies waved their money and begged to invest in Jiang's pharmaceutical company. In addition to Jiang Yanchen's management ability, they valued my research ability in the field of drugs. Not long after getting married, Jiang Yanchen hired a secretary assistant named Qin Qingwei. I've seen it, it's really beautiful. However, I didn't think much about it. After all, Qin Qingwei has outstanding business skills and is indeed suitable to be Jiang Yanchen's secretary assistant. But later, someone told me that Qin Qingwei and Jiang Yanchen had an ambiguous relationship. I asked Jiang Yanchen about it, and he was very frank and said, Qin Qingwei and I were college classmates, and we dated for a while at that time. Later, due to our incompatible personalities, we separated. I didn't expect that after so many years, we would meet again. I recruited her to be my secretary assistant mainly because of her ability. Honey, I don't have any other ideas. If you are not satisfied with her, I will replace her right away. Jiang Yanchen acted as if he had a clear conscience in front of me, and I believed that he would not betray me. So I did not pursue the matter any further. After a while, I became pregnant. Jiang Yanchen was very excited, and I was also very excited. I wanted to temporarily stop the drug research work at hand and concentrate on taking care of the fetus. As a result, when Jiang Yanchen accompanied me to the prenatal checkup, it was discovered that I had cervical cancer. Not only will I lose the baby, but if I don't remove my uterus as soon as possible, there's a high chance that cervical cancer will spread and metastasize. Dr. Chen said to me seriously, the hysterectomy cannot be delayed. The longer you delay, the more dangerous your physical condition will be. Once the cancer metastasizes and spreads, it will be troublesome. Jiang Yanchen said to me anxiously, Wife, listen to the doctor. As long as you are fine, it doesn't matter if we don't have children in the future. What should I do if something happens to you? You can't abandon me. Don't worry, after you have your uterus removed, I will get a vasectomy. I will stay with you until we grow old together as a dink. We will spend the rest of our lives together. I agreed with tears in my eyes. I had an induced abortion and a hysterectomy. Jiang Yanchen did not break his promise and had a vasectomy, leaving a long scar on his abdomen. He stayed with me in the hospital for many days. He comforted me. During that time, Qin Qingwei also came to visit us often, sighing and looking at me with a strange look in her eyes. However, I didn't notice it at that time. I was sad and reluctant to part with my child who died before he was born. Thinking about it now, the way Qin Qingwei looked at me at that time seemed very proud. Later, I turned my grief into strength and devoted myself to drug research. In just 3 years, I developed a specific drug for cervical cancer. I know the pain of a woman who cannot get pregnant, so I hope to use the drug I have developed to treat women with cervical cancer. Qin Qingwei, not knowing what she had done wrong, was fired by Jiang Yanchen. I heard that Jiang Yanchen was furious and scolded Qin Qingwei. Qin Qingwei cried very sadly when she left Jiang's pharmaceutical company. Since then, there has been no news about Qin Qingwei. Now that I think about it, Qin Qingwei must have been pregnant at that time. In order to prevent others from discovering the clues, Jiang Yanchen and Qin Qingwei staged this drama, and I was kept in the dark from beginning to end. Haha. I'm just a fool. I didn't sleep all night, recalling the past. At dawn, I took a deep breath and walked out of the house. I went to the hospital where I had my hysterectomy and asked about Dr. Chen Kang. The head nurse knew me and said politely, Dr. Chen resigned 3 years ago and said he was going to live abroad. However, I heard a few days ago that he returned to China. His home is in the Suihe community in the east of the city. After getting Chen Kang's home address, I went directly to the Suihe community. After knocking on Chen Kang's door, the moment he saw me, Chen Kang's pupils suddenly shrank and he subconsciously wanted to close the door. I leaned against the door and said in a deep voice, Chen Kang, how much money do you want? I can give it to you. However, you must tell me everything that happened back then. You cannot hide anything. Hearing this, Chen Kang was stunned for a moment. After hesitating for a moment, he gritted his teeth and let me in. The room was messy, with many empty wine bottles on the floor, making it look very disheveled. Chen Kang rubbed his hands nervously and said to me with a burning gaze, "Miss Su, is what you just said true? How much money can you give me?" I said coldly, 50 million. "As long as you tell me everything that happened back then," Chen Kang said excitedly. "Okay, it's a deal. Back then, your husband Jiang Yanchen found me and asked me to help remove your uterus to prevent you from getting pregnant. He said that if you get pregnant, it will affect the drug research of Jiang's pharmaceutical company, and thus affect the business expansion of Jiang's pharmaceutical company. He also said that he didn't want you to suffer the pain of giving birth. What I said is true. He had a mistress outside and had a son with her. His vasectomy was also fake. I left a surgical scar on his abdomen to make it look like he had a vasectomy. I have evidence on hand. As long as you give me 50 million, I will give it to you. I really want to kill Chen Kang, but in the end, I held back. I took a deep breath and said, "Okay, come with me to the bank and I'll transfer the money to you." Chen Kang was excited and said, "Miss Su, wait a moment, I'll pack my things. After you transfer the money, I will give you the evidence. At the same time, I have to fly abroad as soon as possible. I definitely can't stay in China. I know you hate me in your heart. You might call the police after transferring the money. I won't be stupid enough to stay at home and wait for the police to arrest me." I secretly hated this guy in my heart, thinking he was so cunning. I gritted my teeth, walked out of his house, and waited downstairs in the community. I was thinking in my heart, how can I bring Chen Kang to justice? I will definitely not let him escape abroad with that huge sum of money easily. He has hurt me so badly. I must make him pay the price and make him spend the rest of his life in prison. As I was thinking this, I heard a scream from above. I looked up subconsciously, and my heart was immediately shaken. The one who screamed and wailed was Chen Kang. He was thrown down from a building more than 10 stories high. With a dull thud, Chen Kang fell heavily to the ground, and blood splattered several meters away. Looking at Chen Kang, who was already dead in a pool of blood, I was stunned. Immediately afterwards, several people dressed in moving company uniforms rushed out of the apartment building in a hurry, and left quickly without even looking at Chen Kang, who had fallen to his death. They are the murderers of Chen Kang. When Chen Kang was thrown down the building just now, I saw that it was these people who did it. Why did they want to kill Chen Kang? Who is the mastermind behind this? I already have the answer in my mind, but I dare not think about it too deeply. I hurried upstairs and came to Chen Kang's door. I saw that his door had been forcibly broken down and that Chen Kang's house was in a mess. My body trembled, and I murmured, "Jiang Yanchen, you have such a cruel heart." Chen Kang had evidence that was unfavorable to Jiang Yanchen, and Chen Kang had previously demanded a huge sum of money from Jiang Yanchen. Jiang Yanchen had every motive to find someone to kill Chen Kang. At this moment, I just felt cold all over. It seems like I have never really known the man who has been with me for so many years. Am I too stupid? Or is he too good at disguising himself? I wanted to call the police, but Chen Kang was already dead, and the evidence he had hidden against Jiang Yanchen was also taken away. There is no evidence to prove the truth. I thought about it for a long time, and finally made up my mind and walked towards Jiangjia Pharmaceutical Company. The Jiang family's pharmaceutical company is very busy today. The spacious conference room was filled with senior executives from pharmaceutical companies and some major clients that the company cooperated with. I have developed a specific medicine for cervical cancer, although I did not tell Jiang Yanchen this news. Those people in the laboratory must have spread the news. Therefore, Jiang Yanchen convened the company's senior management and invited many of the company's major customers to join in the celebration. In front of the conference room door, I could clearly hear bursts of laughter coming from inside. Once this special medicine for cervical cancer is on the market, it will definitely bring huge profits to Jiangjia Pharmaceutical Company and will also enhance the reputation of Jiangjia Pharmaceutical Company, and those big customers who have close relations with Jiang's pharmaceutical company will naturally be able to get a piece of the pie. Therefore, at this moment in the conference room, it can be said that both the guests and the hosts were having a great time. The moment I kicked open the door of the conference room, the laughter in the conference room stopped abruptly and everyone looked at me in surprise. Jiang Yanchen was stunned at first, then he smiled and walked over quickly. "Wife, Why are you here? I thought you were in a bad mood and were resting at home, so I didn't invite you to this meeting. Everyone, come and welcome our great hero." As Jiang Yanchen finished speaking, everyone in the conference room applauded and praised me. Ms. Su is truly as capable as any man. With this special medicine, the Jiang family pharmaceutical company will be able to reach a higher level. It's easy to get thousands of soldiers, but it's hard to find a good general. Miss Su is an excellent general. I heard that a few years ago, some business tycoons offered a sky-high price to poach Miss Su, but Miss Su was already interested in Mr. Jiang, which made those tycoons feel helpless. Boss Jiang and Miss Su are a match made in heaven. They are the envy of everyone. Jiang Yanchen was very proud and said to me with a smile, "Wife, why didn't you tell me yesterday that the special medicine had been successfully developed? I thought you were angry at home because you encountered some difficulties in drug development. That's good. Once this special medicine is on the market, our company will be able to." Before he could finish his words, I slapped him hard. The crisp sound of applause immediately made the meeting room quiet. Everyone stared at the scene in a daze. Jiang Yanchen was also confused and looked at me bewilderedly. The anger in my heart could no longer be suppressed. My eyes were red, and I gritted my teeth and roared at Jiang Yanchen. "Jiang Yanchen, you beast! 3 years ago, I didn't have cervical cancer at all. It was you who colluded with Chen Kang, deceived me, and removed my uterus. You are worried that once I get pregnant, I will stop my drug research and delay the business expansion of Jiang's pharmaceutical company. The sterilization surgery you had was also fake. You kept Qin Qingwei as your mistress and even had a son with her. Do you have anything else to quibble about? Chen Kang has already told me everything." Everyone in the conference room was shocked and looked at Jiang Yanchen with different expressions. Jiang Yanchen's face changed drastically. He looked at me in a panic and said in a trembling voice, "Wife, listen to me. Things are not what you think. I will explain it to you clearly. That damned bastard Chen Kang, did he come to find you? Don't believe his one-sided words. He is talking nonsense. Where is that beast now? I want to kill him." I looked at Jiang Yanchen with hatred and said with a sad smile, "You had someone kill him. You sent someone to throw him down from his house, and he died in front of me. Jiang Yanchen, you have such a cruel heart. Are you still acting in front of me at this time? For the development of your Jiang family's company, do you want to remove all obstacles? Now I know your secret, so hurry up and find those murderers and kill me too." Jiang Yanchen looked pale, staring at me in bewilderment, and said in a trembling voice, "Wife, what are you talking about? When did I find someone to kill Chen Kang? It's already come to this, and you still refuse to admit it." I glared at Jiang Yanchen and said, "Just now, I went to find Chen Kang. I have already negotiated with him and am prepared to spend 50 million to buy the evidence in his hands. He said that after I transferred the money to him, he would immediately fly abroad and would never come back. When I was waiting for him downstairs, he was thrown down from the building. Who else would want him to die except you? If I hadn't gone downstairs to wait for him, would the assassins you sent have also thrown me down from the building? Jiang Yanchen, I was so blind to fall in love with a beast like you." My scolding made Jiang Yanchen's face pale and even more confused. He looked so innocent, as if Chen Kang's death had nothing to do with him. At this time, everyone in the conference room began to whisper, "Did Jiang Yanchen really hire someone to kill someone? Is the lover he has outside his home his former assistant secretary? I've always felt that there was something ambiguous between him and that assistant secretary. It's normal to have a lover and an illegitimate child. After all, a man like him would have spent his days drinking and partying, but hiring someone to kill someone is a big deal." Jiang Yanchen is so confused. If this kind of thing gets out, not only will he be finished, but the reputation of Jiang's pharmaceutical company will also be ruined. While everyone was discussing, Jiang Yanchen took a deep breath and said to me, "Wife, is what you said true?" I said angrily, "Jiang Yanchen, do you think I would joke with you about this? We have been together for so many years, and I didn't know you were so cruel and vicious. You." Before I finished speaking, Jiang Yanchen's assistant suddenly rushed into the meeting room, with a strange look on his face, as if he wanted to say something but stopped. Jiang Yanchen was already in a bad mood and asked angrily, "What's the matter?" The assistant said hurriedly, "Boss Jiang, Miss Qin is here. She's downstairs in the company. She sent me a USB drive, saying that she had solved your problem and asked me to hand it to you personally." As he spoke, the assistant carefully placed the USB drive on the table. "Sent by Qin Qingwei. Did she solve the problem for Jiang Yanchen?" Suddenly, a possibility occurred to me. He simply grabbed the USB drive and plugged it into the USB port of the projection computer in the conference room. Jiang Yanchen seemed to have thought of something. His face changed drastically and he wanted to stop it, but I slapped him to the side. Images of Jiang Yanchen and Chen Kang appeared on the projection screen. Jiang Yanchen said, "Dr. Chen, as long as you help me remove Su Nianyan's uterus, the huge sum of 5 million can be deposited into your account right now. At the same time, I will arrange a property for you abroad. How about that? Oh, by the way, I need you to help me fake the vasectomy scar. I have to hide it from Su Nianyan." Chen Kang looked embarrassed and said, "Boss Jiang, this matter is too risky. Su is your original wife. Why did you lie to her and tell her that she had cervical cancer? Why didn't you want her to give birth to your child?" Jiang Yanchen said calmly. "The Jiang family pharmaceutical company has reached a critical moment recently. The special medicines that Su Nianyan is developing are about to succeed. If she gives birth at this time, it will definitely delay the research of the drug and affect the listing plan of Jiang's pharmaceutical company. So, I can only let her suffer for the time being." Chen Kang pouted and said, "Boss Jiang, as far as I know, Qin Qingwei is also pregnant. The baby in her belly should be yours, right? You made your lover pregnant, but you want to make your original wife infertile. Isn't that too cruel?" Jiang Yanchen said angrily. "They are different. I just treat Qin Qingwei as a breeding machine. When the child grows up, I will kill the mother and keep the child. The child will be raised by Su Nianyan and I. Su Nianyan is the love of my heart. I know very well that giving birth is like going through the gates of hell. My mother died of amniotic fluid embolism when she gave birth to me. I dare not let Su Nianyan take this risk. Even if Su Nianyan and I don't have children, it won't affect our relationship. Stop talking nonsense. I'll give you another 1,000,000. After you finish this, you can live abroad in retirement. It's better than staying in this hospital and getting that little salary every month." The images displayed on the projector made everyone in the conference room open their eyes wide. The contents recorded in this USB flash drive are very shocking. The most important thing is, this thing is the evidence left by Chen Kang's secret photography. Why did it appear in Qin Qingwei's hands? Could it be that Chen Kang's death really has nothing to do with Jiang Yanchen? Did Qin Qingwei send someone to do it? The conference room was silent and Jiang Yanchen looked extremely ugly. He suddenly pulled out the USB drive and rushed out of the meeting room. A group of people followed Jiang Yanchen out of the company and saw Qin Qingwei downstairs. Qin Qingwei stood next to a big tree downstairs of the company, lighting a lady's cigarette and puffing away leisurely. Seeing a group of us rushing out of the company, she smiled. It seemed that she had already known this result in advance. Especially when she saw Jiang Yanchen rushing towards her like a furious beast, the smile on her face became even brighter. Or rather, her smile was a little crazy. She deliberately chose this time to deliver the USB flash drive to the company's conference room. Jiang Yanchen rushed to Qin Qingwei and grabbed her neck. Jiang Yanchen roared angrily, "Why did you do this? Damn bitch. Do you know what you're doing?" Jiang Yanchen seemed to have lost his mind, punching and kicking Qin Qingwei violently. Qin Qingwei did not cry out in pain, but laughed wildly. Even though her face was swollen from being slapped, even though the corners of her mouth were cracked and bleeding, she was still smiling madly. It seemed that the angrier Jiang Yanchen was, the more excited she became. A group of us grabbed the furious Jiang Yanchen. Otherwise, Jiang Yanchen might have beaten Qin Qingwei to death. Qin Qingwei's hair was disheveled, her cheeks were red and swollen, and she looked very miserable. She laughed crazily at the furious Jiang Yanchen and said frantically, "Why would I do this? What are you asking? Helping you get rid of Chen Kang? Of course I'm doing this for your own good. That bastard had evidence against you, but he came back to blackmail you instead of staying abroad. He even found my mother and I to blackmail us. He deserves to die. 3 years ago, I reminded you not to be so soft-hearted and not to let him leave the country alive, but you refused to listen. When Chen Kang came to my house some time ago, you looked so helpless and angry. It really distressed me, since you can't bear to do it. I can only help you and find someone to send Chen Kang off. Honey, you should thank me. Jiang Yanchen's face turned red with anger, and he cursed, "You lunatic, you damn bitch." Qin Qingwei grinned and said, "I've been crazy for a long time. When I got pregnant and you didn't want to marry me, I was already crazy. How am I inferior to Su Niannian? Why do you only have her in your heart and not me? You treat me as a breeding machine, and you still want to kill the mother and keep the child. Jiang Yanchen, you really have a good plan." Before Jiang Yanchen could respond, Qin Qingwei turned to look at me and said sternly, "Su Niannian, you are lucky today. The people I hired secretly followed you and clearly saw you go to see Chen Kang. I didn't expect you to not stay at Chen Kang's house, otherwise, it wouldn't just be Chen Kang who was thrown down from the building today. Su Niannian, you've been deceived for so many years, now you finally see Jiang Yanchen's true face. What a bullshit love, what a promise of love, it's all fake." In his eyes, the Jiang family's pharmaceutical company is the most important for the Jiang family's industry. He can sacrifice everything. Jiang Yanchen roared, "Shut up, you bitch, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to tear out your tendons and skin you." Before she finished speaking, Qin Qingwei laughed wildly and said, "Jiang Yanchen, what else can you do besides impotent rage? I came here today with no intention of leaving alive. I used to have some fantasies about you, fantasizing that one day you would marry me and let me enter the Jiang family. But when Chen Kang found me and said that you only regarded me as a reproductive machine and that you were going to kill the mother and keep the baby, I was completely disappointed in you. Do you know what desperate women will do, Jiang Yanchen? I will make you regret your whole life and live in pain for the rest of your life." As soon as she finished speaking, Qin Qingwei's body trembled, black blood oozed from her mouth and nose, and her face turned a little blue-gray. As a person who often deals with drugs, I immediately exclaimed, "She took poison." Someone hurriedly called for emergency assistance, but Qin Qingwei, who had collapsed to the ground, had already begun to twitch, and the blood from her mouth and nose was flowing more violently. Her face had also turned a little black. It was obvious that she had swallowed a highly toxic drug, and she might not survive until the ambulance arrived. Jiang Yanchen rushed forward, grabbed Qin Qingwei's shoulders with red eyes, and roared, "Where is my son? Where did you hide my son?" Qin Qingwei showed a miserable smile and said weakly, "Since I have no intention of leaving here alive, where do you think I would hide my son? Jiang Yanchen, you will never see your son again in this life. You are not worthy of being a good husband, nor a qualified father. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let you go." As soon as she finished speaking, Qin Qingwei died. Soon after, several police cars appeared downstairs of the company. Qin Qingwei had already called the police before coming here. She used to be Jiang Yanchen's personal assistant secretary, and was familiar with many things about Jiang's pharmaceutical company. She also knew some shady things in the company, and she reported all those things to the police. Jiang Yanchen was taken away and Qin Qingwei's body was also collected. However, Jiang Yanchen and Qin Qingwei's son is missing, and these have nothing to do with me anymore. I filed a lawsuit for divorce. No one knew who posted the affairs of Jiang Yanchen and Qin Qingwei on the internet, including the transaction between Jiang Yanchen and Chen Kang and the murder of Chen Kang. Suddenly, there was an uproar on the internet. The murderers who killed Chen Kang were quickly arrested and confessed the whole incident. They will be severely punished by law. However, the mastermind behind the murder, Qin Qingwei, is already dead, so the murder case could only be closed helplessly. Jiang Yanchen was detained for a period of time, and the reputation of Jiang's pharmaceutical company plummeted, and those investors withdrew their investments one after another, in less than a month. The market value of Jiangjia Pharmaceutical Company was halved. I sold my shares in Jiangjia Pharmaceutical Company and went abroad alone, away from this sad place. After settling abroad, I often have people visiting my place. They were all representatives of major foreign pharmaceutical companies, and they all politely and respectfully wanted to invite me to join their company. After all, although I have been staying in China for these years, my reputation in drug research and development has long been spread internationally. Some international giants even said that whoever can get me will definitely double the market value. Many people have affirmed my value in drug development, but now I just want to have a good rest and don't want to participate in drug development. What happened between Jiang Yanchen and Qin Qingwei broke my heart. Some people say that time is the best medicine and can heal the pain in the heart. I want to try and see if time can heal the wounds in my heart. After coming abroad, I no longer pay attention to domestic news, spend the whole day traveling around the mountains and rivers, letting your mind relax and accept the healing power of nature. During this period of time, I also made a lot of friends, and the trauma in my heart was also recovering little by little. I thought I could forget that unbearable past. I thought I could start a new life abroad, however. When Jiang Yanchen appeared in front of me again, my heart felt like it was being torn apart. When I saw him, I thought of my child who died before he was born, my uterus that was removed, and Qin Qingwei and her son. My friends noticed that something was wrong with me, and they all protected me. Looking at Jiang Yanchen warily, when I saw Jiang Yanchen again after a year, he seemed like a different person. Have you encountered any new difficulties in drug research? He no longer had his former spirit and looked like he had aged by 10 years. He looked at me, his eyes full of guilt and regret, and said in a hoarse voice, "Nyan Nyan, long time no see." I calmed down, looked at him coldly, and said, "You are not welcome here. Please leave immediately. Also, I don't want to see you again. If you come to disturb my life again, I will call the police." Jiang Yanchen showed a bit of pain on his face. He hesitated to speak. He looked at the friends who were guarding me and said to me in a pleading tone, "I want to talk to you alone, just for a few minutes. Is that okay?" I shook my head and said bluntly, "I have nothing to talk to you about anymore. Jiang Yanchen, I had almost forgotten the pain you brought me. Why did you still appear in front of me and provoke me? I don't want to see you again in this life or the next. Do you understand?" Jiang Yanchen's eyes dimmed, and he murmured, "I am sorry for you. And I deserve it. You have the right to hate me. I deserve to die. I am the one who deserves to die the most. I am satisfied to see you again. Nyan Nyan, I'm leaving now. I won't bother you again. I regret it. If I could have a chance to start over again." Before he could finish his words, he left crying bitterly. He also knew in his heart that there was no medicine for regret in this world, and what had happened could not be changed. Although Jiang Yanchen left, he left behind a small box. In the small box were the transfer certificates of all the properties under his name, which he gave to me. Later, I learned that he sold the Jiang family pharmaceutical company after it went downhill. At the same time, he and Qin Qingwei's son were also found. The child was thrown into the river by Qin Qingwei, and the body was salvaged by fishermen downstream. This incident also caused quite a stir on the domestic internet. After being hit repeatedly, Jiang Yanchen was completely ruined. After he transferred all his properties to me, he returned to China and died of depression not long after. After I completely healed my emotional trauma abroad, I joined an international giant company as a partner and continued my drug research and development career. For the rest of my life, I will move forward alone. Even if the road ahead is bumpy, I firmly believe that I can shine the brightest. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.